Okay, Bitcoin. So, has not done much for a while here, man. Wow. Okay. So, haven't looked at this in a few days, but again, just not doing much. So, broke this area here with this major candle here. Now just retesting. But the thing I do like about this, guys, and I think there's actually a lot of good here happening. It's just tough to see. So you can see when price broke this area with this candle here. Now it's it's rejected, but you can see it's making higher highs, and it's pushing this rejection further and further. So these wicks are higher. So this wick is higher than this wick. These wicks are higher than this wick, and these full body candles are closing higher and higher into this zone. So it's basically it's pushing this zone up, and so now this is kind of your zone here, and that's very minimal now. So that's going to break soon. And I drew this candle just showing, price pulling up, or I drew these little lines here just to see it, just to show like, this is what I expect is price to push up, pull back, and then shoot up. It's done that. It just hasn't had this shoot up part yet. Price is still below this 4-hour moving average. So, I mean, the bull momentum is not there, but I mean, you can see on these daily candles, it's pushing the zone, and it's really testing it. So once this area breaks, it's probably going up. But you can also see on the downside here, this zone, like what's happening, especially on this daily here. You can see even after this candle really pushed this zone and forced it, tight and much smaller than it originally was. Like this zone used to be down here, and now look at it. So, but you can also see on this downside here, you got this zone forming, and so you got this area of, it used to be originally at, only this zone at 29,000, and then this starts to shrink, and now price, came up, pushed this zone, and now this zone is actually holding it as well. So it's actually holding above 29.2, and before it was, it was coming all the way down to 29,000. Now it's only coming down to 29.2. So the lower liquidity area, so the buyer area is actually, it's becoming higher and higher. So this used to be your bull liquidity area was down here. So anything below 29,000. Now it's anything below 29.2. Price does not go. So you can see actually, this tells you a good story too. Price came up, rejected, now broke with this candle, and now is holding above. So honestly, I'm kind of looking for an entry in this zone, and some things have to set up first. And like for example, price on this 4-hour cannot be below. I don't want that. I want price to cross over this 4-hour moving average first. I'm not in that big of a hurry for this by any means. You can see there's a nice area of resistance here that price would have to break, and I think it will. There's way more rejection to the downside here than there is on the upside. So, and I think once price breaks this area here, breaks this moving average, and if price closes above this moving average, like eventually it will, so this moving average is going to swoop down, catch below it, then as soon as it catches below it, I think it'll break this zone. And you can just see how much higher, these candles are pushing. And like, not only are they closing much higher, look how high these wicks are. Like these wicks are pushing into 30,200, right? And so, they're pushing well above 30,000 now. The wicks are. So eventually they're going to start closing above 30,000. And then you're going to be good to go. So I think once that starts breaking upwards, then it's going to really start moving, because it's breaking those areas of resistance. So once it does, there's not going to be much resistance. So then the bulls will really all come in at the same time and really push price up. And because Bitcoin's monthly range still is on average about $7,000. So I think once it breaks this area here, I mean, obviously it's going to have to retest these ones as well, but I mean, between here and there isn't much. And that is the normal range for Bitcoin. So I don't think it's not crazy to think that it can't shoot up that much, even by the end of the month. If you look on the daily, I mean, Bitcoin does move $500 a day, so I mean, in in 10 days, like that's actually low. I mean, volume's been down lately. If the normal volume comes back in, then I mean, it'll really push. So maybe if it doesn't hit this high, I mean, to be fair, like it is summer months, so it is going to affect the ranges. So to say $7,000 is the normal range, I mean, it was when the volume was here, but now since the summer months, I mean, it is moving quite less. So, maybe it's only like 3,000, 3 to 5,000. So it is the volume, the range is less, but I do think that this price action still stands true. I think as price breaks this area, it's going to retest this area, and it's probably going to push even higher this time, and eventually it's going to break. And what's going to happen is these liquidity zones for the buyers. So again, originally it was this one. This was the main one. Price was not breaking below 29,000. Anytime it came below 29,000, it got bought up. Now anytime price comes below 29.2, it gets bought up. So, and then these ones are getting higher and higher too. So we'll see how the next ones play out. We'll see how the Monday candle opens and closes. But price is barely making into this area now. So we'll see. You did have this major candle here. So this candle here might have tested all of the lows, and now what we're looking at is something like this. So this zone might actually shrink too. Don't know that for sure yet, but it is something to keep in mind. I think that's totally possible. So as far as a trade entry, I mean, I would be okay to buy it at like in this area here, as long as you keep your stops below this. If you're long on Bitcoin for like in a long-term perspective, so you're just buying Bitcoin and you think it's going to be higher in 2 weeks from now or a month from now than it is now, then by all means just buy it now, or especially when price comes back into this zone, because I think this zone's huge. But I think it's a safe buy no matter what. I don't really see it going below, I mean, unless price completely changes, all price action completely changes. But like if it broke this area, then then everything, you got to disregard everything I'm saying. But as of right now, price way above this moving average. You got this huge bullish segment. The dollar's down, so the dollar's pretty weak, so that's going to push Bitcoin up as well. So I think all those things are in your favor to just buy it either right now or as it comes down a little bit to 29,300. That's the thing. So like what's happened is 29,000 used to be the low, then it became 29.2, and now it might actually become like 29.3. So that's kind of, I'm actually going to put a little marker here because I think price might respect this area. 29,300. So yeah, this might be our new area here. Is 29.3 is kind of our low, so I think 29.3 is a good buy, guys. If you really want to wait for it to, if you want to wait for your entry and wait for your buy position when the momentum's in, so you're not going to get the best price, but you're going to get it at the best time, in the sense that price is on the way up, then you wait for price to break this area here, break this one or this one, but you're not going to get as good of a price then. But so it's totally up to you. So you either wait for the momentum and get a worse price, or you wait for the best price here without momentum. So it might hit 29.3 and then just be flat, might sit here for 3 days, who knows. So those are your options with Bitcoin, but I do think it's a great buy. I mean, this is the monthly range, so I'll just leave it up, but I don't think it's going to hit the 36 this month, but it might hit these top ones, so at about 32. So who knows, we'll have to just wait and see. But I do think Bitcoin is a great buy, and I'm looking forward to getting in on that position. So